Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Java Level 1 class. And it's very good to see you guys here. Last week, we talked about the math class, and we used math class to do a lot of things. And I give you the homework, ask you to do the geometry. I get 3 submissions from the students. I really wanted to, have the students to present their work. Pattern. You submitted it very early on the 19th. So can you just show your work to the class and present your homework?
Okay. It's the. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep, I can.
Okay. If I run it, and then this is the results I get. So.
I don't think you can run because you have a problem in the code, right?
I have a problem with my code.
Yeah, you see on your import, you have java.long actually should be lowercase l. Try that. Line 2.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, line 2, you have java.long, and that L should be lowercase.
I think it is lowercase.
And then I think maybe I'm looking, you share the wrong window, because when I look at it, it's still uppercase, so that's why you see you have a problem on line 2.
Oh, let me
Oh,
stop.
I think you put this in the module -info file. Okay, that's the.
Does this one look better?
Okay, let me show you. Yeah, okay, yes. Walk through your code, yeah. Walk through your code.
Okay, so I first imported java.lang.math, so then like I can do like square root and math sine and cosine, and I used the .util.scanner to have the inputs, and so over here I did the input for the side A that we already have, and then I did that for the same thing for side B and angle C since we already know those, and then I had the input. I created from numbers for C to radian, and then I had to use a very long formula to find out. I think it was the angle or the other side. So I had to like over here. I was like my whole entire formula for it, and then I had to create the second. I had to find out the angles. I used the formula over here with arc to arcsine the answer. Find one of the angles. Then I know that the angles is 180 because the overall is 180. So I just subtracted that from A and C. And so that's how I got my answer.
Very good. So for the class, do you guys know about the formula and that pattern put here on line 19? Is that a stranger to you, or you guys are familiar with it? Adrian, you know the formula in 19?
I don't know what the formula is called, but I understand it's in line and stuff.
Okay, this formula we can call this, we can see is SAS. The reason is that you know two sides and the angle between these two sides. So you can get the third side. You know what this third side will be. This is the geometry thing. If you have not learned the geometry, yes, you will not know it. But if you learn the geometry, then you know this. Very good. Thank you, Pattern. Wonderful job. And I know that you also did very good. I'm not asking you to present the reasons that I will pick the first student who submitted and with a perfect score. That's very good. You got a perfect score as well. That's also good job. So now let me share my screen. And today we're going to learn string for a lot of programming languages. So when you started to learn how to program, usually you started from this data type. It's called a string. Okay, string is one of the most used type in any application. Okay, any language. Okay, you always deal with a string, and that's also the base for you to advance to other topics. So it's a special class in Java API and has many special behaviors. So if we can understand the string well, then it will be easier for us to move to the following topics, okay? So in order to master Java, the first step is to master string class. Therefore, our main focus today is string. So if you know string well, you will do other things well. So keep that in your mind. String is not a primitive data type. String is a class. Okay, it is an object. So first, let's spend some time and read this website. What website is this one? Let me share my screen. So this will be the website we're going to learn. So let me put this URL. Do I get anyone in the waiting room? Oh, yes. Okay, so string is the basic data type in all languages. So let's spend some time to read this website. It is very important, okay, for us to learn this class. And we will do a lot more in the future. We will come to this website more. And here you see we are learning the class string. So in Java, when we do the help document, we always come to the class because class is the basic unit for you to learn how to program. And how do we learn it? If you get the class, come here, you'll see you have fields. In the future, we will talk about what is a field. But if you have programming knowledge, you know, fields is also just attributes, or we just see the variable you declared in the class. And the constructor is how do you create an instance of this class. So you use a constructor to do it. Okay, so you see there are many constructors for a string. And then more importantly, come to look at those methods. So what you can do with the string class, you see, you have so many methods. I want you guys to spend at least 2 minutes to read it through or skim it, okay, this class, string. Okay, come back. So string, why it's so important? Because it's the foundation for a lot of programming languages. So you say, how do we create a string in Java? So you can do it this way. You still need to declare the data type of the variable. So you say string, this variable, and you give it a value. The value is in double quotes. Single quote in Java, that's a character, okay? So a string value is given with the text in quotes. This is called a string literals. Okay, string literals. Why it is called a string literals? We will talk about that later on. Okay, so if you do it this way, you create a variable string, a variable x that is of a string, and its value is hello all. Okay, so the position of a character in the string is called the string's index value. If you know Python, and this is very similar, okay? But it's different from Python. If you use Python, you have a string, you can directly use the index value, but for string, you cannot do it that way. So you say, how do you do it? Come back to the methods. So you will have to do it this way, okay? So in the Python, if you have a variable, let's say a string variable, string x equal to hello or, okay, and you can directly use x 0, right? You can use it that way. And let me just change this to my string. And then you can directly use my string, okay? But in Java, you cannot. You have to do it this way. You have to do it this way, okay? Keep that in your mind. This is different from Python. Of course, for Python and Java, the index value all start from 0, okay? That means the first character, that's index value is 0, okay? So the maximum index value a string can have is the length of the string minus 1. Java does not have a negative index value. It's not like a Python. Python, if you use -1, you always get the last character, right? Java doesn't have that. All right, so let's print out the character at the position 3. Okay, when you see position 3 here, that means it's the 4th character. Okay, and you can also do this, get the length of the string. Can you guys go ahead and type in that code, just like what I'm doing here? So let me just remove those code. I don't need them anymore. Let me just so what I'm going to print out is a system dot out for the print line. What I need to do, I need to do this. My string for chart, right? Position 3. Okay. And then you want to print out okay, at position 3. You know, I need another parenthesis to close it. So this will be the length. So let me put it that way. Dot length. Okay. So you print out what is in the fourth, what is the fourth character, and what is the length. Let me just run this one. You say here it's L. Okay. That means this one, the fourth character is L. Okay, its length is 9. I want you guys to be able to write those code yourself. Okay. So you can get the length, you can get the character at a specific position, and then let's do more. Change a string to lowercase. I want you to do this. Okay. To a lowercase. And then you see what it is now. So let me do that. Let me just copy this code. And then let me do this my string to lowercase. Okay. So I will print this out. Then let me print out my string again and tell me if you see the difference. Okay, let me save my code and then run it. You guys see the difference? Does this convert to lowercase? Let me get a student to answer it. Adrian, do you see the difference?
Yeah, the first one turned into lowercase and the second one still uppercase.
Yeah, you see, when you say to lowercase, it does convert it to lowercase. But when I print out the string itself, why it is still uppercase? This is a very important. Stephen, do you know why?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
So you see here, I use my string and I convert it to a lowercase here. So you see, I did print out the lowercase. But when I print out the string, why I still get uppercase in it? Do you know why?
So you didn't set my string to my string dot to lowercase, so it's still the uppercase version.
It means, okay, so it means, okay, when you use two lowercase, you do not change the string itself. You just create a new string. You just have a new string. You just convert the original string to lowercase and you create a new string of it. So that's the reason. And then we will talk about a more important thing, okay? So if you do Python, you know that, and it's immutable. What is immutable? That means you cannot change it. You cannot change it, okay? All right, so when you do Google search, right? You use Google a lot. You just type in a word or a substring. Okay, I think 王教练可能 要这个钥匙。对对对对。So when you do the search, right? When you do the search, so when you type in something in Google, then Google will give you a bunch of results. Now, how that is done? You see, we have this index of. So I want you all go back to the website to look, to read this method, index of, okay? This one. You see a lot of index of. We will also talk about why do I say a lot of method index of. But first, just click on it using this one. Click on it and read it. What does it mean? Then we will come back. Okay, index of, once you come back, index of is that you have this substring. You really want to scan your string from the very beginning and to see if it contains this substring. If it contains, it will stop at that initial one, okay? The first occurrence of this substring, then find that position of the first character within that string and get that value. So if you do have such a substring in that string, it will return you in the value equal to 0 or larger than 0. But if you cannot find it, it will return -1, negative value. Okay, so this is a very useful method. It used to search and find if a substring exists in the string or not. If you go to Google search, Google, let's say you search for Bill Gates, so it will go through all those websites that Google stores. If it finds a match, it remembers that the URL of this website. It will then return that website back to you as a result. So that's how it works. So index of will return a non-negative value if the substring is found in the string. So this should be straightforward and make sense. Can you guys just go ahead and do this one and you tell me what value do you get? Can you guys go ahead and do that? So then I will call a student to answer this question. Jack, what value do you get?
I'm putting it into the code right now because I was trying to get Java up.
Okay. How many? What value do you get if you use index of LL?
I think 1, like 0 or 1.
Okay, let's try it. Let me just print this out, okay? Index of, I wanted to find the LL, right? Let me save the code. Run it. I got a 2. Why it is a 2? Because you see it's a hello all, right? So it was scanned from the left. When it goes get to H, it's not. Gets to E, it's not. But when it gets to this L, it found it. It finds it. What is the position of this one? That's index value 2. So that's why you get a 2 here. Does this make sense to you guys? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on then. So you remember index of will return a non-negative value if it finds it. So speaking of index of, one more example. All right. You say string. Let me give you this code. Okay. So I want you to spend 2 minutes to read the difference of these two methods and all other methods are index of. You see this last index of, and here is the last index of, but you have another parameter in it. So go ahead and read it, and then you tell me what value do you get. Okay, come here. So you read this one. Last index of. Okay, so this is my code. And after you read that, can you tell me what result I will get for this one? Okay. So what do I get for this one? And why it is 2. So let me run it. Then I will ask you to explain it. Okay. So let me get Steven. Why do I get a 31 and here I got a 2?
Wait, is 5 like the maximum index in the string that it searches in?
Okay. Not exactly, because if you have this value here, you will start from 5, right? That means the 6 character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You start from this blank character. Okay. You start from there, but you are searching backwards. So you are searching this way. Okay. Searching from here to here. Searching backwards. So that is why what you got is this one. Okay. So let me change this to EL. See what we got to help you understand it more. So it was search backwards here, and it find it in matching over there. Okay. All right. So hopefully this makes sense to you all. And that's this method, loss index of. Without this parameter, it is not searching backwards. Of course, you can see we search from backwards, okay? We are going from the end of the string, we go to search backwards. If we have found the first match, that is this one. Okay. Here you start from there and searching backwards. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. All right. So can you guys go ahead and do this one? I think now it will get us into a very complicated concept. Okay, can you guys do this? T and S, and then the system print out if they are equal or not. So let me give you this. Go ahead and run it and tell me what you get. Run it and just tell me what you get. Let me get a, okay. Yeah, it's a false. Patton already told me that he got a false. Why? Because T equal to S. It's not. It does not equal to S. So that's why you get a false. And we see when you compare to string, you can do it this way, but we do not encourage you to do it that way. And why? So let's just go to with more slides. So can you go back to the website and read these methods? And we already learned the numbers that are right per class, right? And then we go to the integer, the wrapper class, top of the wrapper class. And I already asked you guys to read those. Okay. And then now you should have a better idea and then tell me what is the difference. So what do you get? Okay. Okay, so when you read that, can you guys tell me what I will get if I do this one? If I run this line of code? What do I got? If you have not finished reading, you still go ahead and read it. If you have finished reading, then think about this line of code and tell me what you get. Okay, do you get a positive value or negative value, Emily?
For some reason, my program says that I don't have a compare to method.
You do not have the compare method?
Yeah.
Can you share your screen to me? That's compared to, you need to put a S there. Put a S in the parentheses. T compared to S, right? So you need.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get a positive number, positive value or negative value.
Negative.
Why it is negative?
Maybe because they're like completely different.
Adrian, why we get a negative value here?
Because they're different values, and I guess negative is representing that they're not equal.
Because you see T starts with H. Okay, S starts with W. So that means T is small, alphabetically, okay. So you know the difference between these two characters is 15. So that's why you get a negative 15. If you put this back here, S and the T, then see what you get. You get a positive value of 15, right? So that means if your character is smaller and you compare to another character or another string that's bigger, you get a negative value. Okay, So if you are bigger, then you get a positive value. So that's how compares to, okay? Compare to means, all right? So these two methods will give you a numerical value. If it's equal, it's 0. If it's smaller, it's a negative value. It's a bigger, it's a positive value. And then these two, okay? These three, actually, these three, they will return a Boolean value, okay? If they're equal, then it is true. If they're not equal, then they are false. So I really want you guys to be aware of those methods, okay? Matches is different anymore. Can you guys go back to see this one? Matches. Right? It also returns you a Boolean value, but match can use an expression to do it. They can use an expression. And an expression is another big topic in Java, and we're not going into it. Okay, we're not going into it. But I do have some examples, I believe, on my slide. So let me just go there. So you see, if we wanted to challenge ourselves, we can talk about this example. You see, this is a string, all right? You see here. That's the match. This is the expression, right? So anything you know, before Java, you have characters. After Java, you have characters. It's okay. You're just looking for this one, this expression. Then you can try this one. This just looks for Java. Here you see welcome dot. Anything after welcome and you have characters, it's okay. But you do not have any characters before W, okay? So let me just give you these examples. I really want you guys to try it. See in what kind of situation you get a positive value, what kind of situation you get a negative one, or get in the false, get a false. And what does this expression mean? And the expression is very complicated. I do not want you guys to get into it too much, but just run this, okay? Run this. See what you got. Let me run this. All right, so come back. So let me ask you, why this give us the false result? Why? Can anyone tell me? You see this, so what I got? Great, Adrian. Yeah, can you just speak out why you think you get the false value?
Because there are items in the string that are before Java and after.
Yes, you see matches, that means if this string is just Java, it will match it. But it's not. It has characters before Java and have characters after Java. So that's why this returns false to us. So do not confuse yourself when you say match and then use equals. Okay, do not confuse yourself. Okay, in this situation, that means it's equal. Okay, but here you see that the expression. All right, move on. So here, this is a very advanced topic. You see, we have equal, and then you have this double equal sign, and this equal. So what's the difference? What is the difference? So in general, okay, both equals, and this one, just check to compare the object to see they are equal or not, but there are differences between those two. So what are the difference? So let me get Jack to help me read this slide. Jack.
Main difference between dot equals parentheses method and equal operator is that one is method and other is operator. You can use equal operators for reference comparison. Parentheses address comparison and parentheses, and dot equals parentheses and parentheses method for content comparison. In simply words, equal checks if both objects point to the same memory location, whereas dot equals evaluates to the comparison of values in the objects.
So when you read this slide, you see this is a very abstract, right? Okay. You see this once compare the address in the memory. Once compares, okay, the content. So what exactly does it mean? So if you use that, okay, so we meant if you will see this is the richest person in the world and the Musk. Okay, they both pointed to the same person, so they are equal. They are equal. Okay, but if we compare using the equals method, you see it's water in the market, this one, and if I have another market here, and the water in this market, and do we have the same thing in both markets? Yes, they are, because this is water, this is water. Okay, so that's why if you use an equal sign, those like an equal sign to compare two strings, you actually compare if those two things point to the same exact thing. Okay, so like what I mentioned is the richest person and the Musk. Okay, so they are the same person. All right, so let's do some examples here. So if a class does not override the equals method, then by default it uses this one, equals method of the closest parent class that has overridden this method. So this is also very advanced. So for many objects, let me just do this one. Many objects for this one. So you see string, and you put in the data here. Sorry, str. put a dot here. You see you have an equal method, right? Here. Sometimes you do not have that method for yourself. Then what is the behavior of equals? It will just use the parent one. Why I see this is a very advanced topic? Because we have not talked about the child class, the parent class yet. That will be a topic in the end of level 2. So when you talk about it, you get that from the parent. So it doesn't make much sense to us at this moment. But let's just put it that way. See how much money you have in your wallet. Maybe you even do not have a wallet. Then we will just, okay, we will just go ahead and see, oh, how much money in Tom's parents' possession. That money maybe, can be used for you, right? So something like that. So you use equals that method. So if you do not define your own equals method, it will use the parents equal method to compare. So here are the examples. Let me ask you why you get that result. Can you guys try this? I want you guys to try this code and let me put it here. And I want you to see the difference. Let me put a more here. String. This is 3. Okay, let me just print out. All right. This example will help us understand when I talk about the equal and the equal. And it also brings us another topic. So you see here why it is false. Because you are creating a new instance of the string class. So S1 is an object, S2 is a new object. They are not the same. So that's why you say you get a false. Even the content is the same. So you see when you do this, you compare using the equals, you see you get a true because they have the same content. Okay? And why this one give us true? Why? Because the content is the same, so it is true? No. So that's a bigger topic. That's the next slide. And we wanted to go through that, and then we'll finish for today, okay? So why these are the same? So that's the beginning when I talk about a string literal, okay? So can I get Stephen to help me read this paragraph? Stephen.
String literal refers to an inherent string object. This means that the character sequence Java, for example, will be stored at a central place, and whenever the same literal Java is used again, the JVM will not create a new string, but use the reference of the cached string.
Okay, so this is a very important thing, and it's also a very advanced thing. So that's why when we talk about a string, I see this is the foundation for Java programming. So this is the example, okay? If you have that in your mind, S1, S2, you create a Java, So there are two different objects. Okay, S3 and S4, they are Java literals. When you create Java literals, whenever you create one, you will put that literal in a pool, this pool. Okay, so you create for S3, you have Java, and then now you want to create S4 as a string literal. Java will go to the pool to search if there is a Java there or not. If there is already a Java, it will just go and use it. So that's why you say, though both are two variables, but they point to the same thing. They point to the same thing. So that's why they are equal. They are equal. Here, when you use a new string, let me come back to the slides. When you use a new string here, every time you use a new, you create a new instance. That means Java here. Okay. And if you create another new instance, there will be another Java object in the memory. So that's the difference. So the literal, string literal, and the string object instance, they are different. Okay. So string literal, you use a quote to do that. All right. So can you guys tell me what you get? This is a quiz. You get a false. That's correct. Yes. Thank you, Chris. Good job. How about this one? It is true. Yes, because these are all literals, okay? So if you already have a literal called hello in the pool, now you wanted to create a new variable string is hello, it will go into the pool to find if it exists or not. If it exists, it will just borrow that one. So it refer to that same thing. Good. So you guys are doing good. So here's a homework. String x equal to hello or audience. Write code to find the last index value of A at position 13. Okay, when I see last index and I give in a position, you know you are doing the backwards, okay? And then you use math to get the value of the power of the index value you just got over the value of the negative. Okay? So I hope this is an easy homework for you guys. So you need to get the power of that index value over the value of the negative. Let's say the negative is 11 and the index value is 3. And then that means this is a cube core of 11, the cube value of 11, okay? So do that. Any question about the homework? I will give you guys this homework and I put it into the classroom. And I also copy and paste it here. Let me stop recording. If you do not have a question,